Well, Notre Dame wins in a blowout yet again, and we look ahead to the biggest test of the season to this point on Inside the Irish. Oh, crap. Well, another week has gone by, and another demolishing Irish victory as Eddie George led Tennessee State into South Bend. And like most teams that are smaller and weaker, come out of South Bend with his tail sadly between his legs. Long gone are the days of Eddie George slicing and dicing and slashing the Notre Dame defense for long yardage runs. So,
Hey, that was the beginning of the end of the Notre Dame being good. Lose last 3 years weren't as good as the rest.
So specifically looking at the Tennessee State game, obviously through 2 games giving up 6 points, scoring over 100. I think it's 108 points.
It's 98-3, 98-6, 98-6.
Almost scoring 100 points.
Yeah.
I can't do math. Obviously there's a lot of good and a little bit of bad. At least that's what an outsider would look at the 2 games. So do you think Notre Dame still has the struggles? And what areas do you think still need worked on? For the good spots that we had last week, did you see any improvement in any areas? Do we still have good moments and good key things in the positive areas we talked about last week?
I mean, honestly, the team, even though they won 56-3, they actually kind of looked a little worse. But I mean, I think it was like Tennessee State, so I don't think they were like as worried. Like they're like, okay, if I mess up, like it's not that bad there, as it was against Navy. But I do think they kind of sleptwalked through it. I mean, they won 56-3, but I still feel like they sleptwalked through the game. But today, this is the big test. This is a decent Power 5 team on the road. It's going to be a hostile environment. Raleigh, like they care about football there, unlike some schools in the ACC. Barely Catholic. So, yeah.
Shots fired.
Mm-hmm.
Did the offense still look positive to you?
Yeah, my favorite part of the game was it was 28-3. So I'm like, okay, it's 28-3. You can never be sure of this. Tennessee State punted the ball. Notre Dame got it with about I believe less than a minute to go. Sam Hartman threw like 5 passes, touchdown. They're all completions to the tight ends. And that was my favorite part of the game, just seeing Sam Hartman being able to slice and dice. Because you can see that from like any Kelly era Notre Dame quarterback. So, yeah, offense still looks good. They've been able to run the ball at will. Unfortunately, one of the 5 running backs Notre Dame's been using did get hurt, Devin Ford. But, I mean, he isn't one of the more important ones. So that was a shame, but still pretty much all positives on the offensive side. The defensive side was a little shaky at times, and the O-line was a little shaky at times too. But then again, it's Tennessee State. I'm not too worried.
What did you think of the defense?
I mean, the defense gave up. They gave up some plays, especially at the beginning there. I mean, Tennessee State on their first drive drove down the field and got their only 3 points. So that was a little concerning. But then they woke up. I feel like they woke up after Devin Ford got hurt. So I felt like everyone woke up then. But seeing that, I'm like, what the heck's going on, man? But that was the real scary part. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, they weren't at. I mean, Tennessee State did move the ball a bit, but they could never really get any consistent offense. But there were still some plays where I'm like, what happened? But yeah, I'm not. I won't be worried about that at all if they play well in Raleigh. So yeah.
So, if you had to grade both sides of the ball and the team as a whole, what grade would you give the team coming out of Tennessee State?
I would go offense B, and then and defense C plus.
So B minus for the team.
Yeah, I guess B minus, but yeah, because I kind of felt like they just slept through the game.
I can see that. I mean, like you said, FCS opponent. Lesser competition. You know, at least you didn't pull a Michigan
Yeah.
and sleep on.
The kick is blocked, and Appalachian State has pulled off the biggest upset in college football history.
Appalachian State wins. Appalachian State wins.
Yeah, that's the Appalachian State radio call. Yeah.
Do we see consistency or stability out of Sam Hartman? Do we?
Sam hasn't been the problem. Like, Sam's been really good. Like, he's been. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is like gonna be the next C.J. Stroud. Like, I guess. I don't know, man. He looked really good. Like, I'm not worried about him at all. I'm more worried about, I guess, some of the new members of the O-line, the new O-line starters. That's what I'm a little concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
And the wide receivers getting separation from the defensive backs. Which is what Ohio State people have been telling me. Yeah, your wide receivers suck.
I haven't watched enough Notre Dame football to comment on it, but I mean, maybe not. I mean, because the thing is, if your O-line sucks, then
I mean, the O-line's been like decent on most plays, but some plays they just mess up.
And I mean, you know, if your O-line plays bad or below normal, then it's going to cause problems in the receiving game because the quarterback has to get the ball off faster.
Yeah, the O-line looked a lot better against Navy than it did against Tennessee State. But we'll see. We'll see how they play.
Hopefully, it was just a minor step back and not a complete.
Yeah, I think hopefully they were just being sleepy. Hopefully, it was just a sleepy game.
That's what you would realistically want is just, okay, we knew we were going to win, so we're not really going to try. Whereas, you know, let it hang over and the real competition comes in and then you get smacked in the face.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts on the Tennessee State game?
2-0. Let's flip the page and just get to work against real teams. Although we do have another bad team between this and Ohio State.
All right. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and play the ad from eBay. So please enjoy this moment from our sponsor.
How to avoid buying fake items that look just like the real thing. Are you getting faked over? Experts say it's all in the details.
All right. Right. Thank you again to eBay. Please check the link in the description because the link for eBay will be down there. eBay is an awesome sponsor, so go over, check it out, get your discount or whatever comes with it. All right. Now, the moment of truth. The thing that everybody, the 10 people or so that will watch the show, is going to care about. Notre Dame heads into Raleigh to NC State to take on the mighty Wolfpack that didn't look so mighty in week 0 against Connecticut, only winning by 10 points. Have yet to catch up with them how they looked last week. So the floor is yours. What are you looking forward to? What do you think is NC State's weaknesses and strengths? What worries you the most on NC State's side? What's going to be the key battles for Notre Dame, and just everything you got?
Well, the thing that I'm going to be most looking forward to in this game is, can Notre Dame shut down a mobile quarterback? Because this is a good practice. This is good practice for the USC game, because Brandon Armstrong runs around and makes plays. I want to see them put his butt on the grass. Like, I want to see them just get after him, disrupt Brandon Armstrong. Cannot let him look good in this game. I want to see the Notre Dame defense just dominate him. That's what I'm most looking forward to. See how they can do.
Go ahead.
And I was thinking on the offensive side, I want to see Sam Hartman be throwing dimes to the receivers, and also the receivers getting free, because that's something that I'm like, are they just saving this for the Ohio State and NC State games? Like, because I mean, there are no like big deep balls thrown with the receiver outruns them. Like, there have been a couple dimes, like, and they're just into tight spaces that he's throwing for touchdowns. Like, especially the one to Jane Greathouse. That was just a great route. But I just want to see the wide receivers just look more athletic as well. Those are the two most important things.
Do you see any weakness in NC State that Notre Dame could pounce on?
Their offense didn't look that good against the UConn. I mean, only 24 points. Like, it was pretty much just the Brandon Armstrong show. That was really their only offense. So basically, like, their running backs didn't do much. They have like one good receiver whose name escapes me right now. I can go quickly look that up. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Ben Morrison's just gonna lock him down, and then he'll have to find his other receivers. And Cam Hart's also, the other corner's also really good. So I don't know. I have a feeling that we can lock up their offense pretty good.
As far as the NC State side, who stands out on the defense? And is there a matchup? I know you mentioned you want to see more production out of the receivers. Is the receiver, corner, safety battle the big one to pay attention to?
Yeah, just like I want to see the Notre Dame guys get free. I want to see them be able to make the plays. I mean, Tony Gibson is a great D coordinator. Like, I was looking at like previews, and none of their guys like really stood out. Like, I was doing a quick read through, but I just want to see. Yeah, I want to see our receivers. I want to see Tobias Merriweather make a big play, because this guy was really hyped out of Washington. Like, finally Notre Dame got a guy that could start for Ohio State once he develops. He had a really good touchdown against Stanford, but he hasn't really had any big plays so far. And I mean, I worked on the Notre Dame post game show for another Notre Dame show, and those guys, they know the dad, and the dad's not really worried, which is good. Dom's not really worried yet, so hopefully he can get going.
What do you think? Because there are a few Ohio State transfer guys on Notre Dame. Mainly the starting D lineman that escapes me.
Javante John Baptiste.
That's it. I was going to say JPP, but no, he plays in the NFL. What do you think of the production you've seen out of Javante and the other former Ohio State guys that have come in? Do you think that being at Ohio State kind of helps them in a sense if they do end up transferring out and playing somewhere else because of the high level of play at Ohio State?
He's looked good. I mean, I think he's looked good so far. I mean, him and Riley Mills are supposed to be the main guys, and Jordan Batoho, like all three of those guys, like they've all looked good so far. It's more like it's more like the D ends that scare me more, but those guys have been playing well for sure. Like, I mean, they haven't really been tested yet,
Yeah.
but they've played well. It's more like Nana Safamensa and him on the D end hasn't been as good, but inside they've been eating.
I'm sure it'll be interesting. Ohio State week during the game, having to play their old teammates. I'm sure that has somewhat of an effect. But do you expect the level of play to go up with the level of competition going up? And do you think that
Yes, that is the hope. That is definitely the hope.
Do you think that it could be a worrisome to your earlier point that you're going up in the level of competition and level of play as the hope, but then you're playing a lesser team? So are you worried at all of seeing the up down effect?
I mean, as long as they're winning by a lot of points, that doesn't scare me as much. But yeah, I mean, hey, just win, baby. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just been comfortable in these ACC games, man. Like we haven't lost a regular season ACC game since 2017. Like the ACC, look, we just made the ACC RB. I don't know if swearing's loud, but yeah, so I don't know. I've just never been that so scared of like ACC games besides Clemson. I mean, Florida State's back now, but we don't play them this year. So
Lucky.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we do play Ohio State and USC, so those are the two main tough. I mean, Clemson could turn it around, but they looked.
I'm not really worried about that one.
Yeah. Not worried about them right now.
So I'll leave it with this. I'm not confident in NC State. I don't think I like what NC State's building and where they're going. Yeah. They're on the right track to.
Yeah, they hired a good offensive coordinator, but it's only his first year, so.
So I'm not really confident at this moment that I could sit here and say, okay, Notre Dame looks good, NC State looks good. I think NC State has better advantages to Notre Dame because they can attack the certain areas that Notre Dame lacks, and that would give the advantage and the edge to NC State. But I can't say that at this moment. Can I say it next year? Who knows? But
the one thing that people can say about NC State is that they are 2-1 against Sam Hartman. That's the one thing they could say. But Notre Dame has a lot more talent than Wake Forest. So
that is for sure.
Yeah, and the two losses were in Raleigh. Though his one win was in Winston-Salem. But I don't know. I think Sam's ready to finally win one in Raleigh. I'm thinking I'm going to go with a. I'll say 34-17. There.
Wow, that's less than I thought it was going to be. I mean, if you can put up 42 on Navy with their style of offense that they run and pounce on Tennessee State the way you did, I was going to say probably 56-24 Notre Dame.
I would love that.
I mean, like I was basically saying, I think NC State's on the right track to be a better program than they've kind of been in the past. But there's nothing sticking there that tells me NC State has what it takes to beat Notre Dame. Yeah, you have the little Sam Hartman edge leading the Sam Hartman series 2-1, but I mean, come on. When, like you said, when he's got lesser competition with him to go against you, it's easier to beat him.
Yeah.
But so what time is the game? It's a night game, isn't it? Because it's on the road and
it's a noon. It's noon.
Okay. ABC,
which also helps. ABC.
Nice. Same time as Ohio State.
Yeah. Who do you got? Oh, Youngstown, right? You have Youngstown?
Yeah, we got Youngstown State. I'll be at B-Dubs
that
game. Easy win. Although I will say Ohio State hasn't played an FCS school in 10 years, I think was what I looked up. So
was it Youngstown again 10 years ago?
Honestly, I think it was.
Yeah, because Jim Tressel connection.
Yeah. That's usually who it is when we play FCS. So, well, all right. Final thoughts and where can people find you?
Final thoughts are I'm pretty confident in Notre Dame win. Last time we played in Raleigh was it was a 4-8 year when it was pouring down rain and Brian Kelly decided, hey, let's throw the ball like 30 times. That'll work. Yeah. So I want to get that wiped out of my head. Get the Notre Dame's first win in Raleigh. We don't play them very much. So, just get that monkey off our backs. Get Sam's monkey of never winning in Raleigh off his back. And let's go 3-0.
All righty. So, yeah. We will be back here at some point next week. I don't know when, but we will be right back here next week to go over the game and preview the next game.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone tunes in for that, and we will see you next time.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.